Please stop what you're doing and listen to me for just a few minutes. I don't know how much longer I have to live with this memory, but God told me to share it with you. I was dragged into a place so dark, so horrifying, that even now my body shakes when I talk about it. I saw fire that never goes out. I heard screams that never end. And I saw people who thought they were Christians, people who went to church, people who carried Bibles but they were in hell. And I heard a voice. It said, "Stop doing this or you will come here too." Friend, I beg you, don't take this lightly. This may be the only chance God gives you to hear this warning. My name is Andrew, and for most of my life, I thought I knew God. I grew up in a Christian home. My parents were devoted churchgoers, and every Sunday without fail, they would dress me in my best clothes, hand me a small Bible, and march me off to church. To everyone around us, we looked like a godly family. People used to say, "Andrew, one day you will be a pastor." But behind that appearance, my heart was far from God. I learned very early how to pretend. I could sing in the choir with a smile on my face, but inside my mind was full of filth. I could lift my hands during worship, but deep down I knew I was living in hypocrisy. When I became a teenager, I discovered secret sins that slowly took control of me. Pornography, lustful thoughts, lying and unforgiveness became my hidden companions. At first I told myself it wasn't serious. Everyone struggles with something, I thought, but over time, these things became chains that I could no longer break. I still went to church, still carried my Bible, and still prayed when people were watching. But when I was alone I lived a double life. Nobody knew the real me, not my parents, not my pastor, not even my closest friends. I was like the Pharisees Jesus warned about in Matthew 23:27, "You are like whitewashed tombs, which look beautiful on the outside, but on the inside are full of the bones of the dead and everything unclean." I also carried deep wounds in my heart. I was hurt by betrayal from people I trusted. I held on to bitterness, replaying in my mind the wrongs done to me. Whenever someone preached about forgiveness, I felt a sting inside, but I brushed it aside. How can I forgive them after what they did? I would whisper to myself. I didn't realize that by holding grudges, I was shutting the door of heaven against myself. My attitude toward God was casual. I feared hell, yes, but I never really believed it was as real as the Bible described. In my mind, hell was just a symbol, an exaggerated way to scare sinners into obedience. I thought, God is too loving to send anyone there. Surely He understands my weaknesses. Looking back, I see now that I was living in deception. I was more worried about what people thought of me than what God saw in my heart. I was like the crowd in Isaiah 29:13. These people come near to me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. The scary part is that I was comfortable like this. My conscience became quieter and quieter, until I hardly felt guilty anymore. I compared myself to people worse than me, and said, "At least I'm not like them." But inside something was missing. I felt empty. My prayers had no life. My worship was dry. And though I pretended well, I knew if I died in that condition, I was not ready to face God. Still I brushed it aside. I told myself I was young. I had time to repent later. I thought there would always be another day, another chance, another opportunity to get serious with God. I didn't know then that I was walking on a very thin line between life and eternity. And on one unforgettable day, that line broke beneath me. It happened on a hot afternoon in July 2015. I remember the date clearly because it was the day everything I thought I knew about life, death, and eternity was shattered. I had been battling a strange sickness for weeks. It started with headaches, then chest pain, and soon my whole body felt weak. Doctors could not find what was wrong. My parents prayed, my pastor prayed, but nothing seemed to change. On that particular day, I collapsed in my room. My breathing slowed, my vision blurred, and I felt a sharp pain pierce my chest like a knife. I tried to cry out for help, but my voice wouldn't come. Suddenly everything went dark. At first I thought I had fainted, but then I realized I could see my own body lying on the bed while I floated above it. Panic rushed through me. I tried to move back, to slip into my body, but an unseen force pulled me away downward. The further I went, the darker it became. I felt like I was falling into a bottomless pit. The air grew thick and heavy, filled with the stench of burning flesh and sulfur. My ears rang with sounds I had never heard before, agonizing screams, millions of voices crying out in pain. I shouted, "God, what's happening to me? Please help me. but my voice echoed into nothingness. Suddenly I landed in a place that looked like a vast cavern. The ground was hot beneath my feet, glowing red like molten lava. Rivers of fire flowed like water, and smoke rose into the pitch-black sky. All around me were souls, people burning, screaming, weeping. Some were begging for mercy, others were gnashing their teeth in rage. The terror that gripped me is beyond words. I realized I was in hell. Then something worse happened. Shadows began to surround me, creatures with twisted faces, long claws, and eyes glowing with hatred. They laughed mockingly and whispered, "We've been waiting for you, Andrew. You lived like one of us, and now you belong here." I tried to run, but no matter where I turned, there was fire, darkness, and endless cries. My heart pounded as I saw familiar faces, people I once knew on earth. Some had been regular churchgoers, others were friends who had died young. They screamed when they saw me. "Andrew, don't come here. Go back. Tell them this place is real." The demons grabbed me, dragging me toward what looked like a pit deeper than the rest. As they pulled me, the ground shook with the sound of torment. The heat was unbearable, the smell suffocating, and the cries pierced my soul. I begged, "Please, I don't belong here." I went to church. I sang in the choir. I gave offerings, but the demons laughed louder. One hissed in my ear, "Church without a pure heart means nothing. You were full of lust, full of bitterness, full of lies. Did you think God couldn't see?" Their words cut deeper than any blade. In that moment I realized all my excuses, all my outward religion, all my pretending. It was worthless. God had seen my heart, and it was filthy. I screamed until my voice broke. "God, please give me another chance." But the demons tightened their grip, dragging me closer to the pit. I thought it was the end. I thought I was lost forever. But just when I was about to be thrown into the fire, something happened that changed everything. Just as the demons dragged me closer to the pit, everything around me shook violently. The fire roared louder, the screams intensified, and then silence. For a brief moment, hell itself went quiet. A brilliant light pierced through the darkness, brighter than the sun, but pure and gentle at the same time. The demons shrieked in terror, releasing their grip on me as though the light was burning them. They fled, hiding their faces. I fell to the ground, trembling. The light drew closer, and I heard a voice, deep, full of authority, yet filled with unimaginable love. It called my name, Andrew. I couldn't lift my head. I felt unworthy, filthy, condemned. My whole life of hypocrisy flashed before me. Every sin, every lie, every secret thought. I wept bitterly, certain this was the moment I would be judged forever. But the voice spoke again. "Andrew, you were not ready. Your heart was far from me. Outwardly you honored me, but inside you loved sin more than righteousness. Do you not remember my word? Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." Matthew 5:8. You lived with a divided heart, and unless you repent, this is where you will spend eternity. His words cut through me like fire. I realized it wasn't demons, or even the flames of hell that were the greatest torment. It was being separated from him. His presence carried such holiness, such purity, that I saw how unclean I truly was. I cried, "Lord, please, give me another chance. I don't want to die like this. I don't want to stay here." Then the voice said something I will never forget. "I am showing you this place not because I hate you, but because I love you. Go back, Andrew. Warn them. Tell my people to stop playing with sin. Tell them I see the heart. Tell them time is short. Tell them if they do not repent, this will be their portion." I trembled, asking, "Lord, what must I tell them to stop?" And the voice answered, "Tell them to stop living double lives. Tell them to stop sexual immorality, pornography, and adultery. Tell them to forgive, and let go of bitterness. Tell them to stop loving money more than me. Tell them to stop praying only with their lips while their hearts are far from me. Only the pure in heart shall see my kingdom." The light grew brighter, until I felt as if I was being pulled upward. The screams faded, the heat disappeared, and I found myself floating out of the darkness. My chest burned, my lungs gasped, and suddenly, I was back in my body. I shot up from the bed, drenched in sweat, my whole body shaking. My parents rushed in, weeping with joy that I was alive. But I knew, I hadn't just survived an illness. I had been pulled from the edge of eternity, by the mercy of God. When I opened my eyes that day, I was no longer the same Andrew. Something in me had died in hell, and something new had come alive. The first thing I did was fall on my knees and weep before God. For hours I cried, confessing every hidden sin, every lie, every secret that I thought no one saw. I asked for His mercy, and for the first time in my life, I truly surrendered. My habits began to change. The things I once loved, pornography, lustful movies, worldly music, suddenly disgusted me. My phone and laptop were filled with things I knew dishonored God, but I deleted them all. I cut off friendships that pulled me into compromise. I learned to forgive people I once swore I'd never forgive. The bitterness that lived in my heart for years melted away when I remembered the voice I heard in hell. Prayer became real to me. Before I used to mumble quick prayers to satisfy my conscience, but now I wake up in the night crying out to God for mercy and for souls. The Bible that once felt dry now burned with life. Every verse leapt out with fire, reminding me of eternity. Even my family noticed. They said my eyes carried a new seriousness. My words carried weight, and I told them I am not living for this world anymore. My heart must be pure, because I have seen where impurity leads. From that day my life became a warning sign to others. Every time I stood in church, every time I spoke to friends, I told them the truth. Hell is real, and only the pure in heart will see God. My brother and sister, please listen carefully. Hell is real. I was there, and if God had not pulled me out, I would be lost forever. Don't think your church attendance or outward religion will save you. God is looking at your heart. Jesus said in Matthew 5:8, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." Without purity, without holiness, no one will enter His kingdom. I beg you, repent now. Let go of sin. Forgive those who hurt you. Don't gamble with eternity. Tomorrow is not promised. Heaven is real. Hell is real. Where will you spend eternity?